It's true. Just like the same way Lai Mohammed, the Yoruba man, I think he's a Fulani descent also, but he's a Yoruba man. Lion, Femi Adesina, all of them. This is how the Fulani are. This is how they are. Igbo man is the minister of foreign affairs. Somebody that, they will put him in the position to be meeting foreigners, and he has no power of his own. The government, the Nigerian government, will only be telling him what to tell to the world. He doesn't have power of his own. And they will ask him, "Are you?" He said, "Are you?" They will be telling the foreign diplomat, "This is a Biafran. It's an Igbo man." So what the people that are saying marginalization, agitation, it's lie. So they know what they are doing. They put all these people in strategic positions in order to counter our agitation. They know. Therefore, who tell you that the Fulani, they are not smart? They are politically very smart. And somebody will tell me that, no, they are being told by the British. I say, did Britain help Ottoman Danfodio to manipulate the Hausas? It's a very simple question I will ask. I always ask here. Oh yeah, okay, the British are helping them now. Yes, I know. But did Britain help them to conquer the Futajelon of Guinea? Did they help them to conquer the Masina of Mali or Mauritania? Did they help them? That time Europeans even never set foot on West Africa. So what are you talking? These people, they have been politicking before even, I don't know, for some many centuries, if not millennium. So let us, let us understand and not minimize our enemies to our detriment. Koronfo, Fulani Koronfo, carry paper, come to him. He said, maybe he's a general on paper only, with no power. As Azikiwe was a president without no portfolio, nothing. He can't command nobody. He's only a mouth. That is how they have relegated all of them, and they are happy about it because they are being paid. Anyway, what consoles them is we are paid. It doesn't matter what even if a Koronfo can slap them in the office, it doesn't matter to them. They will bring paper, and the Koronfo Fulani will tell him, "Hey, read this. Go and read it on Channels Television." He said, "But how? You don't ask question. What is how?" He said, "Koronfo talking to a general. Since Gowon broke the normal procedures of hierarchy in Nigerian military, Ojukwu warned him that what you did, it will continue haunting the Nigerian military," and that is what is happening. Because the time Gowon took over the as a head of state in Nigeria, he shouldn't do it. Even if he planned the key, he would have surrendered to the Ogundipe, because he was the highest military officers of that time. But Gowon broke the ranks. Ojukwu warned him and said, "Look, what you are doing, Biafrans are prophets. They tell you the future, but you minimize it to your detriment." Ojukwu warned Gowon and said, "What you did, even if you planned the coup, you executed it, you will hand over to the highest military officer." But he took his word for none. And today, what is happening? Sometimes they will promote a Fulani person, jump for 5 francs immediately, so that they will put him in a position more than others that have been there for more than 20 years. Nigeria is a mess. A mess. People don't understand. Nigeria is a complete mess. All round. Afunanya, I don't know whether even what I'm saying, whether I will still have time to make my submission, but I will. It doesn't matter who. It doesn't matter the time. Now, but responding to the report on the WhatsApp platform on Sunday, DSS spokesman Dr. Peter Afunanya said, there is no iota of truth in the so-called exclusive. The DSS does not force out confessions from suspects and has not done so in the matter of IPOB and ESN. Is it no? Okay, people that deny the shooting people or killing people in Lekki during the EndSARS protest. Is there anything that comes out from them that is has any iota of truth? Do you understand? How do you look at them and trust them? Standards of operations or standards of operating procedures in all its activities, it does not take law into its hand. When somebody hear it that doesn't know about DSS, he say, but look at what is glaring at them. Our leader was kidnapped for how many months now? Going to 5 months, if not more. He's still in DSS custody, isn't it? He's a stark example of how they are above the law. It is a public knowledge that it has by today charged many suspects to court in line with democratic norms. The entire reportage is a fragment of the imagination of the news medium, the way they always do. Its aim is to simply malign the service and bring it to disrepute. By now, everybody should have been aware of the brand of guerrilla journalism practiced by this particular outfit. The public should ignore the report wholly. We are tormenting them. POB is tormenting them using guerrilla journalism. Guerrilla journalism. That is what we use in order to torment the zoo. You don't understand how, when, and where it will happen. That is who we are. Unpredictable. Because unpredictability is a weapon of warfare against the enemy. The person, remember, that is doing all these things is an Igbo Biafran, Samson Enwenozo, from BC. He is from BC. We know his whereabouts. But I think he's now posted to Enugu after killing our people in Obibo and other places. Now Fulani, they spot him because they always use Igbo people. It's just like what I saw in the social media also. This comic, natural comedy, comic, not even only actor, but in real life he's a comedian. His life is comedy. They call is it Okafo or Mr. Ibu, known as Mr. Ibu, being gone for hire mercenaries. Anyway, go krokbum, eweptre 1 naira, how about us agadia? People without shame. People without shame. Sometimes people supposed to have at least little shame and dignity, but our own people, many of them, they don't. Once it comes to money, their sense of shame and dignity, they don't even care. As far as that money falls in their pocket, that crumb. These are people, low life. I call them filthy, low life people. In the name of making money. It doesn't matter whether your people are slaughtered, that is not your problem. Okpa Biaseka did the same thing. Where is he today? He's dead. He's dead. What matters is the legacy you leave here on earth. Everybody will die. If you think about that, sometimes you will even caution yourself in whatever you are doing. But all these people, when you look at them, I don't know how sometimes they sleep even and wake up. without their conscience troubling them, although many of them have sold their conscience. Even their wives and children doesn't even caution them or advise them accordingly. All that matters to them is money. Money, money, money. One thing we should know is ezigbo aha ka kwana ego. Ezigbo aha ka ego. As you understand, a world is sufficient for the wise. I want to go straight to the topic of my submission today, which says sustaining the fight for freedom. You know, one thing is pitching a fight or starting a fight, but sustaining it is the most difficult issue. Is the most difficult part of it. Sustenance. You know, you see all these boxers, they train them first of all to be able to absorb punches so that it doesn't discourage them. They sustain it. That is the most difficult part of fighting, is sustaining the fight. You can at the beginning do, but what matters at the end? The end result is what matters. You know, there are football teams like personally, for example, Barcelona. When Barcelona was Barcelona, you can beat them. You can be beating them 3-0. Until me, I never believed that I'm not even a fan of them or any other club. I'm telling you honestly. But they are never defeated until after extra time or prolonged the extra time is given. You understand? That is when until the last whistle blows, because they continue fighting, sustaining the fight. Because they can equalize even in the next 10 minutes. They equalize 3 goals, they equalize it, and you're surprised. That is the spirit of sustaining the fight. You know, why I admire Messi when he is annoyed in the field, if he is that provocation, whereas some players, this player, what is Cristiano Ronaldo, I love him personally. I love him, Cristiano Ronaldo. But once he's playing and they start being annoyed, rubbish. You see 2 different people, very superstars, but you know, their psychic are different. Once Messi is provoked, he becomes concentrated and he sustains that fight. He gives his maximum. He makes sure, righteous provocation. But to the opposite, don't dare make provoke Cristiano Ronaldo. He can even red card. You understand? Please, people, do not misunderstand me. I'm not talking about football, but I'm giving you instances. You know. So what am I talking about? Sustaining the fight for freedom. The starting fight is one thing, but sustaining it is the most difficult issue. That is why our leader has been talking about hammering on resilience, consistency, resilience. If they wake you up in the morning, what do you want? Say Biafra. You sleep. In the midnight, Biafra. The same thing. Sustaining it and working towards it. This is where the saying goes: if you cannot die for what you believe, you better don't believe in anything. That is it. Sustaining a fight, that is resilience, means that many things will be thrown at you during the fight, because fighting is not playing or joking. Fighting is not playing or joking. It's a fight. There is no 2 ways about it. Therefore, you must sustain that fight. It must be sustained. Otherwise, you lose. You might say, okay, at the beginning he fought very bravely, did that, but what matters is the end, what happened. Just like football. Oh, this team, they play too much. Oh, they dribble. Hey, the person asking you, say, hey, please, spare me all this dribble. What is the score? That is the only thing that matters. What is the score? You cannot win without resilience, without sustaining the fight. Do you understand me? You can never win a fight without sustaining. When you watch some boxing, past competitions of Mike Tyson, you see some people, some of his opponents will come at the beginning, they will hit. You think that these people, they will destroy Tyson. But Tyson will hold himself, sustaining it. Once he have that, once he see that your weak point is there, he's going direct. One knock, you will be hitting him, he will be defending, sustaining. But if he charge like this, he will go for a kill. That is why he always win by knockout, KO. Therefore, sustaining a fight is the most important thing, not starting a fight. After all, many people started freedom fighting, militancy. Where are they today? It's just like the other time somebody called and started, oh, let us do what blowing the pipe, what Avengers did. What did it? I say, okay, sorry, Oga will stop. Well done. Just stop small. Break, can I ask him question? And what is the end result of those people that fought? What did they achieve? Pipeline guard. Now they turn them into miscreants, protecting the pipe that the main thing. Do you know that this is insulting? Sometimes I think about, I don't know whether people really think about this in a very deep way. You know, the caliphate, they turn you, anything you are doing, they will turn it around and use it to their advantage. And you yourself, you think that you are doing something right. That is why this struggle, the quality of people in the helm of affairs of this struggle, I'm telling you honestly, you have to trust them. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu trend. Because, you know, it's not something straightforward. If you fight a war or you continue pitch a battle with the caliphate, making it straightforward, you will be a loser, direct. Once you go, you see, because whatever they are doing, what the Nigerian government is doing, anything that IPOB is instituted, they will plan a way in order to use it and hit us back. It turns to their advantage. That is why when they tell you stop, you stop. There is a reason behind it. Do you understand me? There is a reason behind it. You continue. People think that is a straightforward. Now do it like this. People that have done it like that, where did they land them? They turn them into criminals and give them amnesty. Oh yeah, and you know, they advise them, now this is the best you can achieve. Oh, now take it. Oh, because they lack sustenance, they lack resilience. They turn the general fight, the general war of liberation into their personal money making you know, way. And that is why they turn them into guiding that thing that they say, okay, this is my property, this is my property, this is my property. You know, I want to control my property. Now the thief that is stealing your property now corner you and negotiated with you, convince you into protecting that property so that he will be taking it. You don't want to carry it you know, wholesale. He now be taking it little by little. Say, be on the road. look out for thieves or people that will come in order to interrupt me when I'm taking your property. And now I will give you just a crumb. I will give you 0.00001% of water. And the person, okay, anyway, it's a good deal. Let me keep quiet. And they continue protecting their property for that thief they were fighting before, not to take their property. They become tools now protecting that property being drawn from their land, stolen every blessed minute. And you will come and compare them with this hallowed platform. No. It doesn't matter what it takes. We should be resilient. We should continue, sustain this fight for freedom. It's not easy. Let me just read some excerpts from the words of Mandela when Madiba. Because these are the reasons why we must sustain the fight. Pitching a fight is more easier than sustaining it. Do you understand me? The reasons why we must never stop or fail, because we have no place to run back to. I still quote this our brother from Australia, that we have no place to fall back to or go back to, so that you don't have the comfort of saying no going back. Which back are you going? You have no back to go to. Therefore, why are you talking no going back? Don't even make that statement, because there is no place to go back to. The reasons why we must sustain this fight for freedom. Listen to the words of the great Mandela. Those who are voteless cannot be expected to continue paying taxes to a government which is not responsible to them. People who live in poverty and starvation cannot be expected to pay exorbitant house rents to the government and local authorities. We furnish the sinews of agriculture and industry. We produce the work of the gold mines, the diamond and the coal, of the farms and industry, in return for miserable wages. Why should we continue enriching those who steal the products of our sweat and blood? Are you hearing it? Those who exploit us and refuse us the right to organize trade unions. Is there any trade unions in our land today? The Fulani Caliphate, they have destroyed it. Because what makes them fearful is when people are organized with one common goal, like the trade unions we have before in that zoo called Nigeria. They manage in thwarting it so that they can form their own at any given time. No control. The Fulani, they have the power of imposition. Have you forgotten when they formed quickly under 1-2 days? Union of cattle headers, Mietiala formed cattle headers union with the farmers of northern Nigeria in order to block the bringing in the exportation of onion, alibas, into southern Nigeria. Have you forgotten? Today also they have formed the union of northern groups in order to stop the liberation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They don't want you to be powerful. That is the oppressors. That is what they do. They thwart you into pieces. They form you into states so that you cannot rise up for another person. Because they know that there is power in unity. They know that when you are unified, that you can challenge them. They can unify themselves, even if impose unification in order to do anything they want. But they will make sure they thwart you. Have you forgotten? Is it 2019 or 18? When Nine World and other middle belt group leaders wanted to fly, or is it with Oduduwa, Afenifere, they stopped them from landing in Meduguri or where? They stopped them because they understand the power of unity. When the southern governors had the meeting together, it became a very big issue. And I believe that even on secretly they have thwarted them. Mostly from Biafra governors. Have you forgotten when the meeting was or took place in Enugu? The last one, I think. The governors of the Igbo governors didn't attend. Only governor of Enugu was there because the Fulani masters warned them, because they understand the power of being unified, unity of purpose. They understand it more than anybody. That is why they want you to be talking one way, your friend or your brother will be talking another way. This one will be, your cousin will be quarreling with you. Yeah, now they come as peacemakers in order to exploit all of you. Do you understand? Continue listening to the words of great Madiba Mandela. I have had to separate myself from my dear wife and children, from my mother and sisters, to live as an outlaw in my own land. I have had to close my business, to abandon my profession, and live in poverty and misery, as many of my people are doing. Are you listening? That is a great man. Not people like Ibu, Mr. Ibu, or they call him what? That comic, useless. I don't know what he resembles, even in real life. Talking about why I'm not supporting Biafra is because of my property. I don't want to talk against the Holy Spirit if he's our leader. These are people that are part of what we are suffering today. The type of mentality. Do you understand? I shall fight the government side by side with you, inch by inch and mile by mile, until victory is won. That is resilience. What are you going to do? Will you come along with us, or are you going to cooperate with the government in its effort to support the claims and aspirations of your own people? Or are you going to remain silent and neutral in a matter of life and death to my people, to our people? For my own part, I have made my choice. Only through hardship, sacrifice, and militant action can freedom be won. The struggle is my life. I will continue fighting for freedom until the end of my days. These are the words of a great leader, a great freedom fighter. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been shouting and hammering on resilience, consistency. Not today you are white, tomorrow you are green. No, you continue believing and working towards our liberation and freedom. That is what we clamor. That is who we are and who we should be. Do you understand? Do you understand me? We should learn from the great Mandela. It doesn't matter his business, which some of our people, that is what is even making them, what is making them to reject freedom or fight for freedom because of their properties. Remember, I'm talking about sustaining the fight for freedom. Sustenance, that is resilience. Let me also read for you a bit about wars of independence or freedom fighting that has taken place or recorded in this world. Some, just few. You have the November Rising of 1830 to 1831 between Poland and Russia. But the result was a defeat of Polish insurgents. That is, Poland was defeated when they rose up. Russia retains control of Poland. Introduction of the organic statutes of the Kingdom of Poland. Liquidation of Polish autonomy. Do you see that many countries you're seeing today enjoying in their land? I think Okeforeign is in Warsaw today. They fought for independence. They fought for freedom. In 1830 and 1831, they fought, and many of them were slaughtered by Russia. It didn't stop them. Listen, that is resilience. They were subjected under Russia, but they didn't dissolve them. The ideology continued. When I go down, you will see that it is only in Biafra. Wait, I'm coming. You see, the Second Sudanese Civil War, 1983. I used to say it here, 1983 to 2005. The second, after the first civil war that took place from 1956 to 1972. 1955. Before independence, they started fighting till 1972. Now, from 1983, after a preamble, they carried gun again and said no. Either we get what we want or you kill all of us. That is resilience, sustaining the fight, sustaining the freedom fight, because freedom is what you get once you obtain it is finished. Do you understand? Now Sudan is independent. You had also in 1814 the Swedish-Norwegian War of 1814, and it led to the partial independence of Norway, within the later United Kingdoms of Sweden and Norway. You had the Algerian War of Independence, a very bitter war of independence. 1954 to 1982, Algeria with France, and they led to the independence of Algeria. You had American Revolutionary War of 1775 to 1783. It led to the independence of United States from Great Britain. I can continue mentioning the Angolan War, Irish War of 1919 to 1921, the Arab Revolt of 1916 to 1918, and the Arabs were defeated. The aspiration for independence by post-World War First partition of Arab Ottoman Empire lands into protectorates controlled by United Kingdom and France. The Arabs, they fought for independence during the First World War. Europe deceived them. They say if you help in order to revolt against the Ottoman Empire, because the Arabs were under the Ottoman Empire. That is Turkey you are seeing today. Turkey was a very great country before. It was the capital of the Roman Empire before. They were controlling the Arabs, occupying the Arab world until 1916 and 1918. You know what? France and Britain, they use brain because it's part of the warfare. They met the Arab leaders and said, look, that was during the First World War, because they were fighting against the Ottoman Empire. Now they entered the Europeans. They say, if you can revolt against Ottoman Empire, once we win them, now we'll give you independence direct. Arabs say okay. Now they revolted from 1916 to 1918. Arab revolted against the Ottoman Empire, and at the end, Ottoman Empire was defeated in their land. Do you know what? UK and France took over Arab. Do you know? After you are calling Fulani, said they are using takia. Europe, the one they use is more than takia. That is how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to use any weapon you will use in order to exploit others. You do that. We're in a world of that. You understand? When you are weak, they exploit you, either mentally. The way they even use only ordinary religion, not even just the same religion. Now they use different churches. Our people now fight each other because of I am an assembly of God. The other one is deeper life. It become you cannot marry each other. Don't you see that people with this type of mentality, they have light brain. They can be easily deceived. UK and France deceived the Arabs in 1916 and 1918. After they have done everything, they have fulfilled their part of bargain, and they pursued the Ottoman Empire. Britain said, wait. They Arabs enter another colonization by the Europeans and UK and France. Yeah. Okay, no be today, honestly. They understand me. Why can't we engage in that type of brain? But we are always victims. Why? That is the question I used to ask. Why? Whereas we are created even before these people, but all of a sudden, these people become the same way Jacob deceived Esau, younger brother. It's very fun, very funny. It's not funny, but it's funny. In 1971, Bangladesh War of Independence. It led to Bangladesh being independent from Pakistan. You understand? In 1830 to 1839, we have what we call the Belgian Revolution, where which led to the independence of Belgium from Netherlands. So all these things that are happening in Africa, it happened in many parts of the world, including Europe before. So what we are doing is not something that is out of a blues or out of another space. It is something that others pass through. We need to be resilient and sustain the fight, because once you have independence, once you have freedom, you don't take it back. Do you understand? Also, Brazilian War of Independence from United Kingdom of Portugal, Brazil, and the Algarves in 1822 to 1845. 1824. Chinese Communist revolutions. All these are revolutions and wars. I want to say the Nigerian Civil War, and there is something I want to bring out there. Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970. Biafra, Nigeria. Defeat and dissolution of the Republic of Biafra. I read through all. It's only this place, only here they say, the others they will say defeat of the country or of the nation or the people. They rose up. Some succeeded, some were defeated, but after they rise up again. But it is only in Nigeria, in our own, that they defeat us. Not only defeating, they dissolve our republic. It is never done. Dissolution of the Republic of Biafra. Why? Our people, we are not resilient. I asked this question to one of our revered veterans who spoke on the 18th of this month here in this hallowed platform, Professor Ewa Enoke. You understand? Why did you people stop? Why didn't people, even very few people, enter into the bush and continue fighting? Why did you have to? Why did what happened that they will dissolve a whole ideology of a whole people? That is a question that even the answer, I was not convinced, honestly speaking. I still need answer to that question. All other wars, revolutions, there are many defeats, yes, but you never see, I didn't see anywhere where they say defeating and dissolution. It's impossible. It's only in the case of Biafra that we became like water. All of a sudden we completely forgot, as if nothing happened. It is mind-boggling. It doesn't matter how you look at it. It is mind-boggling. Many people used to try. They rise up, they fight and be defeated. Another time uprising, they will be slaughtered. They never stopped. It is only our people that stopped and our ideology was dissolved. And today you see now pushing. What our people are doing in Nigeria politics is a shower, political harlots. You understand? You know, no ideology, nothing. I want to quickly play this clip, please, so that I compile it. Listen and listen attentively. I have 2 clips to play. Therefore, listen to this one first.
The members of Northern Consensus Movement (NCM), comprising of notable northern activists, an association of traders, transporters, and marketers dealing in consumable foodstuffs, and many other food items that shuttles between the northern and the.
You know, there's one thing with this people, as I said before, the caliphate, these people, they have one strategy. Their strategy is to make sure that their foes are not united, but they have the capacity to impose unity, so that they showcase, even if it is 2 people, they call it one big name, so that to show to the world that they are coming with crowds. It's all of them. In one story when we are small, this fairy tale, Akoko Ifo, when tortoise went to, they carry him. There was a famine in the land of animals, and only the birds were feeding very well. The land animals were dying of hunger. And tortoise saw his eagle and said, well, help me now, carry me. What is happening? You are feeding. He said, no, it's the king of heaven that is giving us food full everywhere there. They said, okay, carry me now. He said, no, I know you, don't be greedy. He said, it's where back here, I will not be greedy. Anything they gathered and gave him feathers. The whole birds gave him feathers, and tortoise will follow them, fly, go to the meeting with the heavenly king, and there every type of food was brought out, and they want to start to eat. Tortoise said, no. Before you eat, please, let's ask the king, who is the owner of the food? The king said, no, but the food is for all of you. Because before they went, even tortoise said, deceived the birds and said, we should answer them. So everyone will say, what is your name? The eagle. What is your name? Pigeon. Well, he said, no. They say, what is, he said, you should answer them. So me, I answer, my name is all of you. All of you. They said, okay, no problem. Now, when the food was being brought, tortoise said, before everybody balanced to eat, tortoise asked the king, say, Augustus, who is the owner of all this food you are bringing? He said, all of you. Tortoise said, on here am I clear. Now me get them on all of me, in all of you, now my name. So tortoise ate the whole thing. So these people, they have the capacity of imposing any type of unity, fabricated or mechanical unity, chemical unity, acidic unity. As far as they come out and face the public, maybe they can call Idrissa, Haruna, Musa, Oya, come, let us gather and call ourselves traditional this and that of North. Farmers and the Mietiala and the Egusi producers. Are you hearing? Now they will come out. But you their foes, the indigenous people, don't dare come out unified and make a statement. Attack will be coming from them. Who dare you? Why do you do this? Why are you going to issue statements as a unified? Please continue listening.
Southern part of the country called for this press conference as a response to some Igbo leaders hosted for a reception by Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces Federal Republic of Nigeria at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, where they requested for the release of their tribal warlord, Nnamdi Kanu. In fact,
do you see the hatred and alacrity they pronounce that word? A primitive way, they call it tribal warlord. My goodness me. This is insultive. Tribal warlord. Do you see? You know, that is how they push it. So that they sell out that word to you. Now, an ignorant Joe will say, no, it's as they call it, tribal warlord. It's an Igbo warlord. It doesn't concern them, it's Igbo. But they themselves, they impose their perceived unity. Even if it's acidic, they don't care. Do you see how smart they are? I'm talking about sustaining the fight for freedom. Because everything will be thrown at you in a fight. Different type of jabbing. Anything could be thrown at you. Your ability to sustain it will eventually make you a winner. Look at what these people are throwing at us. Listen.
This visit by the Igbo leaders to Mr. President, seeking for the IPOB leader, seeking for the release of the IPOB leader is unacceptable by NCM, because this type of gatherings is what usually encourages ethnicity and fueling ethnic crisis for too long in Nigeria.
He's talking about ethnic crisis, ethnicity. I want you to listen to another clip. Please. I will love you to listen. This one is said we are tribal. We are ethnocentric. Okay? But listen to this man who is the governor of Bauchi State. Listen to what he has to say. Listen, please.
People, while at the same time bringing the Fulanis in one fold, arrest traditional practice of moving from one place to the other, and that is very big an uphill task. But I think we can communicate with them more, because to them they don't have borders from Cameroon to Nigeria.
But that's the thing, Excellency. How do
he said the Fulani don't have borders from Cameroon to Nigeria, Niger, Chad? That is, they don't have border. Whereas they are calling us tribalists, that we should believe in Nigeria. But they themselves hear this man, a governor, is talking about only Fulani. What concerns the Fulani of Sudan? Listen, please.
we ensure that those who will be participating in this federal government largely funded program will be Nigerians?
In terms of the funding?
No, in terms of the
operations.
Operations. You said to bring in the Fulanis together. Where Fulanis from other countries
the issue of misconception, I see there is a lot of mistrust and misconception with regards to the Fulani man. The Fulani man is a global or an African person.
He doesn't talk about Nigerian, eh? This is the real irredentist, the real tribalistic, nepotistic people that you have ever seen. But they are the people that are, accusing you that is fighting for justice, fighting for equality. As Mandela said, that if you are in a country whereby you have no equal rights with some others, now what is the need of being in that country? I don't know whether people understand. This man, I've been playing this clip. This man, a governor, a serving governor in Nigeria, come to solicit for his tribal people, but he's not a tribalist. Do you see the punches they are throwing at us? Because this is a freedom fighting, and we have to, pick it. We have to sustain the fight, because where lies the wisdom. Continue listening, please.
person. He moves from the Gambia, from Senegal, and his nationality is just a Fulani man. And
his nationality is not Nigerian, but he's a Fulani man. They are using money from our land, from Biafra land, which they contracted those that we are fighting, so-called fighting for resource control. These people are contracted by the Fulani from Sahel in order to be protecting that oil, to be piping it through the sea via Lagos to the north, and they will be paying them crumbs. And you are telling me that all is well in our brain, and they are happy doing it. If you near the pipeline, they will shoot you. They will shoot you because they have to make their living. Do you see how things go? The real nepotists, the real irritantes, the real tribal humans that never even refer, that never talk about Nigeria when they should, is them that are calling us tribal Igbo. That we are doing something that we make Nigeria not, they are tribal warlord Nnamdi Kanu. They never talk about how he was extraordinarily renditioned, which is against the law, international law, Kenyan law, Nigerian law, all the international laws. This is what cost Britain for severing diplomatic relations with Nigeria in 1980s, I think 84, when the same Buhari, as a head of state, tried to rendition Umaru Dikko, who is also a criminal, but Britain protected the criminal, but sold their citizens. Umaru Dikko was never a British citizen; he was resident there, and the people were arrested and sent to jail for this. But here they jettisoned their citizen because of Biafra. God Almighty. Oh wow, this world is not justified. It's not just, honestly. But we must try our own. Not crying. We must sustain this fight for freedom. Because here lies our hope. Because without it, we are going nowhere. Without it, we have no other place to even go. Continue listening.
As a person, I may have my relations in the Cameroon, but they are also Fulani men. I have relations because from the maternal side, I'm a Fulani man. And that is why we want to educate people. A Fulani man sees himself as a Bayelsan, as somebody coming from the Niger Delta, because he speaks the Niger Delta language, which you and I don't. And of course, we would have to just take this as part of...
You know, here they don't talk, he didn't talk about Nigeria. He's talking about Fulani. But he's a governor of a Federal Republic of Nigeria, using Nigeria resources, but bringing Fulani from all over Africa to Nigeria with Nigerian resources and paying them. They are more Nigeria. They are treated as first-class citizens. Do you see how sophisticated things are in Nigeria? How complicated, not sophistication, complicated. Do you see the mess we are in Nigeria, where somebody from Sudan will be treated as a first-class citizen more than you, the owner of the land? Are you seeing it? That is exploitation and colonization. What Mandela fought against. Do you understand? I didn't even finish reading what Mandela said. I will come back to the clips, please. Mandela said, in its proper meaning, equality becomes the law. Equality before the law means the right to participate in making the laws by which one is governed. A constitution which guarantees democratic rights to all sections of the population. The right to approach the court for protection or relief in the case of violation of rights guaranteed in the Constitution, and the right to take part in the administration of justice as judge, magistrate, attorney general, law advisors, and similar positions. In the absence of these safeguards, the phrase equality before the law, insofar as it is intended to apply to us, is meaningless and misleading. All the rights and privileges to which I have referred are monopolized by whites in their own side at that time, but by Fulanis now in the so-called Nigeria, and we enjoy none of them. I consider myself neither morally nor legally obliged to obey laws made by a parliament in which I am not represented, that the will of the people is the basis of authority of government, is a principle universally acknowledged as sacred throughout the civilized world, and constitutes the basic foundations of freedom and justice. That is justice and equity. When you say that everybody is equal to the law, but in Nigeria it is false. It is a farce, because the Fulani, they are number one citizens. The governor here is confirming it, that they don't care about Nigeria. The Fulani, they are Fulani by nationality, and that is their priority. But here in the other clip, which I will also play, they are calling us all sorts of names, tribal people. Do you see why I tell you that these people, the Fulani, when they are killing you, when they are beating you, they cry louder. They cry the loudest. Have you seen it? They destroy unions. They destroy unions. They divide us and push, not only dividing us into states, but they make sure that each state governor doesn't interfere. Each people of one state, you don't dare interfere in what happens in another state, so that they can be picking everybody one after the other. Can you imagine where a governor, a Biafran governor of for example Abia State, or governor of what do you call it, Akwa Ibom, will come out on the national television and tell the whole world, the Nigerians and the whole world, that look, I have my brothers in Cameroon. There are some in Benin Republic. There are some in Equatorial Guinea. I don't care. We are using Nigeria resources in order to bring them to come to Nigeria and to be Nigerians. That we are Biafrans first. We are Efik first before Nigeria. Do you know the brouhaha, this thing we call, there will be war immediately. But lo and behold, they are doing it with impunity, because we allow them to do so. Because our people, we are thwarted with just crumbs, as that useless Mr. Ibu is doing, as many of his like-minded fellows are doing. They are following Ushiego anywhere he goes, without dignity. People without dignity and honor. They are ready to bring down their boxers to Alaji in order to defy them, so that they will answer also Okomewan in their villages. Do you see how filthy they are? Mandela says, he continued by saying, our struggle has reached a decisive moment. We call our people to seize this moment, so that the process towards democracy that is rapid and uninterrupted. We have waited too long for our freedom. We can no longer wait. Now is the time to intensify the struggle on all fronts. To relax our efforts now would be a mistake, which generations to come will not be able to forgive. The sight of freedom looming on the horizon should encourage to redouble our efforts. It is only through disciplined mass action that our victory can be assured. Our march to freedom is irreversible. We must not allow fear to stand by our way. This is resilience. This is sustaining the fight for freedom. If we don't do it, listen, we have no place to fall back to. We have no place to go back to. Everybody will go and dig his grave and his generations. Do you understand? Because you cannot handle this caliphate single, one. No, that is why we must be together in this. That is why we must be disciplined in what we are doing in our cause. That is why you must also listen whenever you are being spoken to. Whenever the leadership is talking, you listen. That is what we plead. Sustaining the fight for freedom. I want to go back to this clip. Please listen. Continue listening.
conversations with the president as he's about to set a precedent for not putting into consideration those still feeling the pains for killings and the loss of loved ones.
Let me go back.
Not beating series of crimes against fellow ethnicity and foiling ethnic crisis for too long in Nigeria. For how long shall we as Nigerians be looking at ourselves in tribal lines?
Do you see the hypocrisy? For how long are we going to be looking ourselves in our face in tribal lines? But his fellow Fulani governor was looking on a tribal line, the most nepotistic tribal line, undermining the country you call Nigeria, undermining Nigeria. Because he said it in the whole of Nigerian people's face, that we don't care about Nigeria. We are Fulanis. It doesn't matter where you come from. You enter Nigeria with Nigerian resources, we establish you as a Fulani person. Do you understand? But here, they are talking about Nigeria now. They are calling us ethnically based or ethnocentric. Let us rise and even also do what they are doing by thwarting them. Do you understand? This is the reason for this Radio Biafra House of Service. In order to sideline, in order to isolate the Fulani from the other groups in the north, so that open their eyes for them to see who they are referring to as their brothers. Continue listening.
We have over 50 ethnic groups and 529 tribes in Nigeria. So each group should gather themselves to Aso Rock after committing series of crimes against fellow citizens and demand for the release of the perpetrators because they represent their ethnic interests. Meanwhile, going by the...
He's saying Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is representing our ethnic interest. What is this man talking about? What about this guy? You see, even Ganduje, they have been defending the Fulani headsmen. They are Fulani brothers from every part of Africa, bringing them into Nigeria. And immediately they land into Nigeria, they are giving Nigerian ID cards. Do you understand? But whenever they are traveling any other place outside Nigeria, they will leave that card. They will bring up another passport, another country's passport, because they know that there is a stigma on Nigeria. Do you understand that? These are the we should remove ourselves from accepting this deception. I'm telling you honestly. We should. These people are calling us fools in our own eyes. They are insulting us, looking into our faces and insulting us. And you say people that like Mr. Ibu and all others, they don't care. What matters to them is the crumb that they will take. It doesn't matter. They will laugh about the insult.
And see the present on their personal problems. In any case, the Igbo leaders did not and have not gone to discuss how Nigeria is to progress into future, but to release to them their tribal boy, despite the non-daily killings of other innocent.
Are you watching? Are you hearing, listening? The way is down. This is a type of the hatred in the voice, the insults. Are you listening to it? Tribal boy. But when they defend the Fulani carrying AK-47, killing others, no, they are not tribal. They are Nigerianese. I don't blame them, because they see our people as money mongers. Insult them, do everything, give them money, and they will start talking from both sides of their mouths. It's an Igbo person. Look, it's an Igbo politician now. We defend them. Say no. What he speak, is not what he meant. A spokesperson that of one thing in Nigeria, we come and defend them. He will be an Igbo man. Another part of Biafra. No, it's not in context. It's not what he mean. Chinekele.
Tribes in Nigeria which they are aware of. The NCM want to make it crystal clear that if Nnamdi Kanu should be released to his tribal bigots, we will mobilize other ethnic groups.
He is calling us tribal bigots. Chineke Kunayoncho. Sheikh Gumi has been defending killers they call bandits. Before my program, I was also listening partly to Mazike Tiko Noha's program. Who are the bandits? Do you see how these people are outsmarting all of us? Not IPOB anyway. Do you see? The whole indigenous population. The same way they outsmarted them during the time of the British. Do you understand? The same way, and got everything. That, you know, when you blame them, you know, blame Maziki, you blame these people, this and that. No. Today they are doing the same thing. They are outsmarting everybody. The indigenous people. They are the tribal bigots defending their tribe, the Fulani headsmen. Now they go and proscribe bandits. You know, when somebody pick your pocket in Aba, he's a bandit. Now he's a terrorist. They don't mention their name, say Fulani headsmen. As it is mentioned internationally. Do you see how smart they are? Do you know why they are doing this? Or they could do this? Because they understand the importance of communism, community effort, or communal effort. Standing together. It is so important that we have missed the target, if not for Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. All that we knew is about individualism. Make your money, build your house, and stand alone as an Iroko tree. Become Akajak one. Without your people together, you are nothing. Do you understand? Do you understand me? That's why the Fulani, they can spend their own personal money to go and lobby for their Fulani interests. You will see a Fulani millionaire be lobbying. He doesn't care. He will contribute and pay for the lobbying firms in America, in Europe, in order to be defending the rights of the Fulani, not to his own rights, personal. No. Our people don't know this. That is why when they see us, they look at us as pygmies from the equatorial forest. Because all we know is about our individualism. This is what we are trying to stop here in this IPOB. This is what we preach, and that is civilization, advancement. They are more advanced mentally. I'm telling you honestly. I'm not talking about talent. Talent is different. Before people misunderstand me, is God-given. We are peculiar people. We have talents. Natural engineer. It's not what I'm talking about. Organization. That lack of organization is what makes us, or what makes you primitive. That is it. It doesn't matter you are going on private jet. It doesn't remove that primitivity from you. Because, as far as you are not communal, inability to organize. Even in this struggle, you see people that come, only what matters to them is what they can gain privately as their selfish interest. They go for the money. These are the type of bigots we are dealing with. Demons everywhere. Continue listening.
To his tribal bigots, we will mobilize other ethnic groups to act in the same way, and also later demand for audience with the president for their release. It is expedient to note that a stitch in time saves 9. We will always prefer to be addressed as Nigerians than reducing Nigeria to a mere ethnic jaguist.
But when they defend Fulani headsmen that are killers, they are not ethnic bigots, right? The Fulani, they are intimidators. They come caterpillar. They come intimidate you. When you see, they will beat you to a corner. You will see Igbo politicians speaking with both sides of the way he will like to, polish the word. First of all, if it is Igbo group, they first of all thank the president. They will thank the secretary to the president. They will thank the commissioner or the minister for justice for even trying to make sure that even we are breaching. People that thank Buhari, the impostor, for thinking about even, think not doing it, thinking about, raising money first. Saying we raise more, they will source for money in order to in future build the second Niger bridge. To complete it, that even opening mouth to talk about that they will look for money, it doesn't matter when, maybe in the next 20 years, even talking it, thinking about it, oh, we thank you. Just go to their videos, it's everywhere, it's all the time they have meeting. Their press conference, they all is we thank the president, we thank the minister, we thank the commissioner of police for killing our people because they are removing the miscreants. We thank the voice of the defeated people, but we are never defeated. They want to push us into defeatism. This I'm talking about. All these Igbo Efulefus, this political elite we have in our land is very, very appalling, honestly. Appalling.
Killings against the states.
Listen.
Therefore, there's no amount of pleading by his kinsmen to be just released after being instrumental to the killings of over 178 security personnel, loss of innocent lives, and properties.
These are lies. Even he's stuttering when saying this. So he's a liar. He just lies. I said these people, they come like caterpillar, but nothing is in them. If you resist them, they run away. That is one thing all these our political elites they don't understand. How many people did the Fulani headsmen kill? Is it on record? Have you seen any of our so-called Biafra group or Igbo group come out and say, give a statistics of how many people killed by the Fulani headsmen? In our farms, our own farms, they will come and tell you, oh, this one people, they have killed the people now. Oh yeah, I will pay for the mortuary. Just carry him now. Oh, your people should close mouth, so that because your people talk, you will bring problem to yourself. You will close mouth, be law abiding, and we will see what we can do. That is case closed. Case closed. If you ask the statistics of how many victims of Fulani killer headsmen in our land, in the Middle Belt, they slaughter them as anything. All they do is they carry the corpses, go to governor's house. You know one thing with the indigenous people in Nigeria, what I see. There is one thing I notice in them. That's why I used to call them primitive. They are very primitive set of people. Once a politician come out to address them, they are happy. Okay, we change. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for even coming, sir, to even address us, sir. No matter the corpses lying down here, sir. You're a good man, sir. Look at when the Reverend Fathers, the clergymen in Enugu State, went to protest. They carry placards and and everything, protesting when one of them were butchered by the Fulani headsmen. They went to governor's office. They gave them a microphone, say, I address the governor. To my chagrin, to my surprise, he started thanking me. Very primitive orangutan on the camera. We thank you, Mietiala, for doing what is good. Continue the good work. People that slaughtered them. I said, no, these people, They have been beaten into a corner, a cage. And this is from that cage our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is trying to liberate everybody. That is why his voice, if they hear Fulani hear his voice, they will run and go and hide inside a burrow, a hole. You understand? Continue listening.
You know, properties of individuals and that of even governments that is worth trillions of naira by the outlawed IPOB and ESN Nnamdi Kanu's group. Here what we are saying is simple. It is impossible as northerners to believe that some group,
you know, when Hagerala, if they are looking for who, you know, to coalesce with, they call themselves northerners. But look at the other clip I played. Now it's Mietiala, it's Fulani. Do you see that these Fulani, they are very, very smart. Politically, they are smarter than everybody. Every indigenous population in that so-called Nigeria. I am telling you honestly. That is why they're on top now. Nothing more. If you are telling me that Britain helped them, why did they get the heart of British? Tell me why. Because if others are smart, they would have, no matter the situation, they would have at the early time outsmarted them from the British and gain the heart of Britain. That is how smart people do. You know, that's it. You see that, oh, this person is he want to outsmart you to get everything. You use another method in order to outsmart you, in order to knock him out. That is how the world is. There is no pity in this world, for goodness sake. You are either an exploiter or become exploited. People fought for their freedom everywhere around the world. People fought, maintained the fight, and sustained it until victory was theirs. It will not be different from ours. Freedom fighting in Igbo, the negotiate cars as booty of freedom fighting. They will show you their building. Oh, they have Olympic size swimming pool. And this is what you got from so-called freedom fighting or militancy. And you are happy about it. And you see people clapping for you. There you know that some people are irredeemable because of the crumbs they will get. Look at how this man, the Fulani man, is talking with boldness. Boldness. Igbo politicians speaking, or they can deno now. They resemble people that are inside the hole, right? Afraid. We thank you, sir. Thank sir, for even remembering to even give us audience, sir. This slave mentality should stop. We must sustain this fight. Let's go on.
Of people, to be precise, the Igbos. After so many lives were lost in the name of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB / his ESN outlawed organization, that so many lives were lost, properties destroyed, more than almost 200 security personnel were killed, properties destroyed.
All these things he's saying, which means, is he a court? These are peddling lies. IPOB is a very non-violent freedom fighters. Do you understand what is said? You know, the charges against our leader is he said on Radio Biafra, he insulted the president. He said, and he called my zoo, and he said only just rubbish. You know, these are charlatans. He will come and make mess of himself in order to put fear in the mindset of the political elites in our land, but not on IPOB, because we are fearless in the presence of our enemies. Who are you? They never born you. You see our leader. Even in the court, he holla. Who are you? Fear for what? They have boxed our so-called political elites into a corner. That is why they can in one way talk like this, in another way they are the most nepotistic. They call themselves Fulani. We don't care about Nigeria, the integrity of Nigeria. That is not their problem. You know, they are the people that they are committing treason because they downgrade the territorial integrity of Nigeria by opening borders and bringing foreigners that they call their brothers as Fulanis, entering into our land, slaughtering people. And here they are telling you, calling a press conference, and you know, God.
Consider to go to visit the president in an issue that will bring Nigeria together to discuss Nigeria, to discuss the future of Nigeria, to discuss
this vagabond charlatan who live his rantings there. Our leader must be released. We don't beg anybody. Do you understand? The only thing is that you that is hearing my voice, and as a Biafran, as a family member of IPOB, are you disciplined? That is the only thing. Because your indiscipline fuels what our enemies are doing. You are indiscipline. You are insubordination. It fuels whatever they are doing. Because when they are looking, they say, oh, these people are not together. These people, okay, they have if an enemy wants to undo you, first of all put confusion so that you become divided. But we are not. We are IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, under one family. IPOB, one family. God bless Karomonde for bringing this mantra, one family. Do you understand? So when you sell yourself, when you sell your birthright for a pot of porridge, you are somebody that you are better off will use you, do ye. That is what is happening in Nigeria. Do you understand? Had it been bumper to bumper at the beginning, Azikiwe and Co. I will follow these people bumper to bumper. They will not be today talking to us like this. Had it been Okpabi Asika didn't go for money instead of his people, they will not be talking to us like this. We need to sustain this fight. Do you understand? The whole of the wars mentioned, which I mentioned before, I was reading, it is only that of Biafra that it was written as defeated and dissolution. Defeated and dissolution. And we carried on as if nothing happened. After the war, everybody kept quiet as if nothing happened. Even you see some of our veterans, I said some, they don't even want to speak, even to their children, of what happened, because they are terrified. We need to change this mentality. It is because we didn't sustain the fight. Sustenance goes beyond physical fight. Do you understand? Sustaining a fight of this magnitude, it goes beyond physical fight. It is mental also. Many other things are involved. Many other things. In order to keep the fight alive, many things are involved. Not only physical fight, but our people opt to completely ignore, forget, and go and start looking for money to the detriment of all of us. You understand? Our people kept quiet as if nothing happened until when it was resurrected, first by Owazirike. Credit to him, yes. And now when he fell by the roadside, started looking for contracts, become a hotelier, CEO. Our leader took off and reorganized, and the result is what we are seeing today. We should keep on sustaining this fight for freedom as long as it takes. Therefore, do not be feeble-minded. our ancients, during the time of Moses, when I call the Israelis, you think it's all those Israelis you see today in no, it our people, our own people, our Igbo people, the ancestors as of that time, they were the people with Moses. They were feeble-minded. Whenever they see hunger, hey, now what is that how you bring us to this desert in order to kill us, all of us? They forgot yesterday, maybe what happened 24 hours back. Is it not what is happening today? Is it not what is happening today? Very feeble-minded people. Feeble-minded. Hey, no, go to comment section in some people that are, streaming this my broadcast live on social media. You see some commenting. Is it talk will bring us Biafra? Is it what we release Mazen Namdekano? These are proselytes, paid agents. They are there. All they want to do is to put poison, so that what you say, it's true. Talk. Every time talk. You don't know that it is with the world that God created the whole universe. Only speaking, talking. You understand? You entered into IPOB by hearing our leader's voice. Do you understand? So when you hear people say talking or writing something that's nonsense, put them in their place. They are paid agents just to come and cause insubordination, murmur. People that will bring out just small things, small poisonous word, and others will take it up. Not true. Not true. Every time, talk. What are we seeing? Nothing is happening. No. Who will tell you that? Does it mean that anything you don't see doesn't exist? Is that what it means? Let us be resilient in order to continue sustaining this fight for freedom. This is where I'm going to stop. I will no more continue. The clip is not all, but I will not continue playing that. I don't want to publicly insult him, please. What we are doing, we will wear our enemies out. It doesn't matter what it means. Stop being feeble-minded. That is it. Any slightest rumor or gossip you hear, your mind will come out. Boom. Now, hey, if like this, as if you are waiting for failure already. That is what you are waiting for. My God. This is where I'm going to stop. I will go on a few minutes break. And when I come back, I will open the lines so that people will call in and give us their views concerning the topic of this submission. Please, I will go on few minutes breaks. I will be right back.
A cikin littafi suke Sura 22 aya 30 yace, na kuwa neman mutum guda daya daga cikin wanda zai tsaya jar ta ganuwa, shi tsaya a wurin taguwa a gabana domin ceton kasan, kada in halaka ta, amma ban samu ba. Allah mu yana nima wanda zai tsaya wannan zuwa state. Allah mu yana nema wanda zai tsaya wannan zuwa state. Watakila gene, watakila keje. Allah mu yana nema wanda zai tsaya wannan zuwa state. Allah mu yana nima wanda zai tsaya wannan zuwa state. Allah mu yana nema wanda zai tsaya wannan zuwa state. Watakila gene, watakila keje. Allah mu yana nema wanda zai tsaya wannan zuwa state. Ina kuke masu biye su na tiya nasarwa. na ce mu farka daga barci ku lokaci yayi. A cikin littafin Ishaya Sura 60 aya 1 ya ce, tashi ki bada haske, gama hasken ki ya zo, daraja Ubangiji kuma ya hau bisa kai. An cuce mu masu biye su na jiya nasarawa. An talauce mu masu biye su na jiya nasarawa. Menene ya saba a so me bi ya zama shugaba. A cikin littafin Nehemiya Sura 2 aya 17 ya ce, sa'annan na ce musu, kun gan masifa da muke ciki, wurin Sharima ta zama kufai, kamar yadda kuma sun ci wuta, ku zo bari mu gina ganuwan Urushalima, domin kada mu kara zama abin zagi. Haka nan ne ma ina ce ma masu bi na jihar Nasarawa da cewa ku zo mu gina ganuwa masu bi a jihar Nasarawa, domin kada mu zama abin zargi. Allah ya aike ni gare ku cewa wa zai tsaya tsakanin domin mu gudanar da wannan aiki. Menene yake hana mu zama gwamna a jihar nan? Allah mu yana nima.
Welcome back. This is Radio Biafra House of Service coming to you via the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Maz Jonathan Chinedu. Our leader is Maz Nnamdi Kanu, and we are coming to you through Radio Biafra London. Today is the 29th day of November 2021. Our lines are now open. Our direct line is +1 213 328 6224. I repeat, +1 213 328 6224. Our WhatsApp and Signal line is +61 405 142 547. I repeat, +61 405 142 547. I have a caller already on WhatsApp, although people have been calling me through direct line. Caller on WhatsApp, if they call on direct line, if they are not calling, okay, let me pick the caller on direct line first, please. Caller on direct line, you are the first caller. No, the call dropped. Why? I don't know why. I don't know why caller direct line callers used to drop very fast. I don't know the reason. Let me try again. I don't know. Caller on WhatsApp, please go on. Welcome to the program. Please, I do not have much time, so if you are making your submission, make it as brief as possible, please. Caller on WhatsApp, welcome to the program. Go on, please. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Go on, please. What is happening again? Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Telling you. I don't know. Caller on WhatsApp, sorry, you are. I don't know what happened. Caller on direct line, go on, please. It seems. Caller on direct line, can you hear me?
Ma'am.
Go on, please. Caller on direct line, go on.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
The whole world is hearing you. Please go on. My goodness me. It seems I need to restart the phone so that it will be picking my voice. I don't know. Please, I need to restart the phone. As the case may be, as I'm restarting the two phones, WhatsApp and direct line. Let me see caller on Signal. Can you hear me? Caller on Signal, please go on. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
You are, please. Thank you.
Mazi Jonathan, good evening from here. My name is Amazi Akas. I'm calling from Austria. And by the special grace of Chukwokika Biama, the National PRO. My greetings from IPOB Austria, and also I want to use this opportunity to thank you so much this evening for your analysis. And I will never forget to thank Chukwokika Biama on behalf of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the man who has fought for us. Even up to now, he's still fighting in the danger of Nigerian DSS. And we Biafrans are praying for him every blessed day that he will be stronger and stronger, and very soon he will come out from that place unconditionally. This is our wish, and we make no apologies about it. Mazi Jonathan, yeah, according to your submission this morning, this evening night from here, I listened when the uneducated Fulani were shouting on top of their voice. The idiot said he knows law, but they never knew that his so-called Malami said he don't know that extraordinary rendition is a crime. The people that say they knows the law, but you can go outside a country to go and kidnap somebody without the authority of that country. You just package somebody, torture that person, kidnap him, fly private jet in another country to go and pick up somebody without their country or giving you an authority or giving you how do I put it? Giving you the chance for you to commit such crime. Today, they have put themselves into almighty mess because the world know that Fulani knows nothing. These are the type of country that are controlling over 200 million population. People who knows only how to rear cow.
Mazi, let me come in here, because we always have wrong impression. You know, when you say Fulani don't know nothing, I laugh. I'm telling you, I laugh. These people, they are experts in politics, right from time.
No, Mazi, I'm talking about law.
The law, they know what they are doing. You that know law, are you not running away from? Are you in your land? But you know law, you know everything. But we are scavenging everywhere. Let me tell you one thing. There is something, you know, we always talk with emotion and sentiment. When you come to facts, reality, we must face the reality. These people are experts in politics. Don't think that they don't know what they are doing. What they are doing is intimidation, pushing. They know what they are doing. Forget about them saying they know the law. What do you want them to talk? Can any Igbo politician speak like them in the public?
No.
Okay, now, you know, we yap them, they don't know anything, but they rear cows, yes, but they rear the indigenous people also. They control everybody. Is it not? Let us face the reality. It's not. We are not talking for talking sake. Reality matters. They rear cows, they use the whole indigenous people. That is why they can come out and they lie. They know what they are doing. They know that they are lying. But what can you do about it? Can you go and talk like that? Even if your own people will hunt you, they will pay one of your people to come and hunt you, and they will come. You will see, we know how to fight each other dirty, but when it comes to fighting for our communal interests outside, you see everybody become like I want our money. Now, okay, we know something, we know law, we know everything, but we are the victims. What does it make any sense?
Yeah, Mazi, I concur with you. I concur with you. The truth is that just as you said, they rear cow and rear every indigenous of Nigeria together.
They want to. They are turning everybody into cows.
Yes, and they have put the fear in this population that none of them can talk. If you talk, they will use gun and bullet, pursue you. And they have do this thing to the extent that even the so-called people that our people are saying they are representing us, none of them can be able to stand and speak even the way this man is speaking. Look at how Shegumi is defending the whole terrorists that are killing indigenous people in that country boldly and saying that when you call them a terrorist, they will destroy the country. And nobody
Mazi, can you please just 1 second? Have you forgotten or do you remember Kunle in Alhaji Kunle in America?
Yeah, discussion between
no, it's not that
Alhaji,
one.
yes.
No, it's not that one. When he was interviewed during Goodluck Jonathan's time, he went to America. Goodluck Jonathan went to America. He flew to America in order to lobby for Goodluck Jonathan to be arrested in America with his own money. He said nobody sent him. He's doing it with his own money. So that when these people are talking, don't say, some people will be saying, because they have power now, they are the president. No, this is how they behave. Very bold. Can any person, can any indigenous person in the South, the talk less of Biafran, fly to America when the impostor is in America and openly be granting interview, campaigning that Buhari will be jailed and arrested in America?
They bond that person too. They bond that person.
God bless you. Now I rest my case.
They didn't bond that person. Yeah, Mazi, if not what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is doing today, that give a lot of us the boldness today to speak without being afraid. This is why my prayer when I'm going to protest here, I took my family along, so that my children will see how I'm fighting to get, so that when this Biafra will come, my children will hit their chest and said, my father was among. I saw my father doing the needful what he's supposed to do. When I'm going to family meetings, I go with my children for them to use their eye to see. I don't want to tell them story. And all of them today, anytime I carry my flag, they will say, Nnamdi Kanu, because they know that I'm fanatical about Biafra. So my brother, I want to proceed by saying that this thing that is happening, the way these people are bold enough to castigate, to do anything, to give the authority, to tell you if you don't do it like this, we kill you, we do that. I want to let them know that Biafra will be the most rubbish. In Biafra, in this Biafra case, is where the madness will stop. It doesn't care how they can rant. We have told them that our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was released unconditionally because he has done no wrong. He has never committed anything. Call anything you want to label against him. The truth is that our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is any charge they are labeling against him because they know he committed no crime. Rather, we are holding Nigerian government for committing a crime of extraordinary rendition of a leader man. They can't run away from. They can never run. They committed crime against humanity, and they must pay for it. And we are telling them, Mazi, have you seen what happened in Lagos? Where they are knocking the houses of Igbo people, they are knocking all their houses.
Tomorrow,
money they spend.
Mazi, let me tell you, as they are knocking it down, another Igbo man is negotiating with the governor to sell to him that land.
This is why when Ojukwu went where they would build their trade fair, Ojukwu look at them and say, this man never accepted to open that market for them. He looked at them and said, all the lands of Igbo land, are you people blind? Or can't you even ask? Just ask. We want to do something. We will give you land free. But look at what our people, and now they are knocking their houses down. Our leader has been telling them, come back home. Come back home. These people know they hear word. Now they are knocking the houses. They spend millions of naira to build, not one, not two, in 50s, in 100. They are knocking at them just because the government said the land belongs to them, without even negotiating with them, without even saying, oh, okay, this land belongs to us. You are going to pay so and so amount.
Mazin, they will please round up. We're talking about the most stupid set of people.
Knocking their houses down,
if not IPOB.
Sheepishly.
Thank you, Mazi, thank
my
you.
Brother, thank you so much. What is happening in that country is appalling. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The one Nigeria. enter into one Nigeria, use Nigerian law, let them protect you and your property. No way. Let us fight for our freedom. A narco story. I don't know. Also, you are not for up, you are not for down. Our Colin, what's up? Please hold on. Before I come on the air, I was watching one program, this Brekete family. Some set of Igbo men or Igbo people, they go. Yes, Igbo men. I think they were in the break. You know this man they call ordinary president in Abuja, regulating some issues also. They were complaining. One pastor, I don't know what the name of the pastor. I just listened to a few things. I said, Nandiara. He collected our wives. This pastor, he deceived our wives. He married one woman, married the daughter. I think the thing was happening in Onisha. I'm coming. Call up, please. Hold on. I'm coming. Now, this man was talking. They were complaining. I lost my family. My wife, I born 5 children with. Oh, this and that. This one we talk. Now, you know what Brekete family say? You know he's a Muslim. He said this man is lucky. He never do this thing to one awesome person. There they will destroy him. In Ibolando. And the people there are laughing, clapping. Because they take you as, our people act like a spineless, lily-livered set of people. That is why when I hear somebody call, dear is this and that, give us other, because you're a coward. You're a coward. That is how they have pushed us. These people are bold. Doing anything. I'm telling you. I say everything. They are bold. The type of bold. I say this Brekete family. He said if this man is doing it to Igbo people carrying their wives, no problem. If had it been you've done it to one Hausa person, that church will close that day. Doesn't it mean something to you? Oh, they all know it's a complaint. Hey, well, one man is complaining. You see, days, if not hundreds of men gather, they cry. Hey, carry our wife. This man say, if you do it, our 1 house man, that church will close. I have a caller on WhatsApp. Thank you for holding on. Welcome to the program. Caller on WhatsApp.
Hello, Master Jonathan. Good evening.
I hope you are hearing me.
Yes, I'm hearing you clear.
Thank you. Because I restarted the phone. I don't know what was happening. Go on.
All right. My name is Ifeanyi Chukwu. I'm calling from the zoo. In fact, I've been the student of this Radio Biafra for a long time ago, and although this is my first time of calling, so because I've been studying, but since 2019 I've been listening to this radio. Even when our leader used to give message, I doesn't miss all his messages. So, in fact, my Jonathan, for your message this evening, although I started listening very late, but from where I started, in fact, I feel like shedding tears whenever I'm listening to your program, because I used to tell my friends that you have a smartphone, download this very radio and start listening to it. I used to tell them that even I myself, since I started listening to this radio, I tell you honestly that I'm no longer the same, that they should listen to this radio. This is only where you will, in fact, your life will be transformed, that in fact, you will be able to, know where you are and where you belong, and, know how you are going to make a move. And because as I'm talking to you now in the zoo right now where we are, the people are suffering too much sufferness that it seems as if, and in fact, when you started even interviewing some people and they're telling them this and this and this, look at how these things, everywhere is just, and you will see that these people, some of them are even comfortable in living like that. So they don't even want to they will just take it, okay, it has been there, let them continue. So they don't even listen very, very well. And honestly speaking, I have been telling people that they should be listening to this radio, but as I'm telling you now, even most of our Igbo people, some of them are not even interested even in hearing or even in listening to this very radio, because some of them are just they will just be so
They will die of ignorance. That's it.
They don't even care. So they feel, and I'm telling you now, in this very country that people are so much suffering that even as I'm talking to you today, they are even selling a sachet of pure water, 20 naira, and the people are even comfortable, and nobody even talking. And nobody even, they are just buying it, and they say after all the things has been hard, and I'm just watching them because some of them don't know the reason that all these things are just going up like that. So as me, just as I said, that is my first time of calling. I'm so happy, and I like your program. I just want to, in fact, you people should keep it on, and I myself, as God has opened my eyes in this way, I will also make anybody around me must connect to this very light, because that is what God wants us. He wants us to go to that very land that He has made for us. And I myself, I have seen it. And whenever anybody who has a spiritual eyes and a spiritual mind will know what you people is doing here. And I pray that as our leader is where he is now, I pray for him that the Lord God Almighty will, in fact, will release him unconditionally.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Remain blessed. You know, once you are illuminated, you emit light. That is it. You know, you put battery in order to bring out light. At least light will be in your apparel first before it becomes illuminated, or you illuminate the darkness around you for you to see. So you must first of all equip yourself with knowledge, wisdom, enlightenment before you can enlighten others. Thank you very much. I have a caller, please, that has been there. Wait, Maazi Chibuike Biafra, hold on. Let me go on direct line. Direct line calls are flooding. Let me take another one. No, it's dropping. Why? Why is this call dropping? Maazi, welcome to the program. Maazi Chibuike Biafra, can you hear me?
Maazi, I can hear you. Good evening, Maazi Jonathan.
Yeah, well, welcome to the program.
Good evening. Yeah, it's Chibuike Nadim. I'm calling from Bern, Switzerland. Maazi, where do we begin? Your lecture has always been classic, and I think we deserve this. Let me begin from a comment made by former governor of Abia State. It is in relation with all what you're preaching here today, and I will also touch on the audio you played about the Ariwa or Northern whatever. The former governor of Abia State said or claimed he went to the DSS today to pay a visit to our leader. And in that comment, there was something he wrote that brought me back to the comment I made with you here about a week ago about how people see us. In one of the paragraph, I believe the second paragraph, he said, and I quote, that he is aware that you, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has millions of insane, keep that word, it's a key, insane followers. Are you understanding me, Mazi Jonathan?
I do.
That is the word he used, insane. That means that my claim of people calling us insane and miscreants Do you see the validation? Ojuzo Carlo don't know that the people he is calling insane are the people here coming to serve him and his children. Because maybe he has approached director and made a request of financial inducement. He rejected. And maybe approached some coordinators on the ground, they rejected. This is how he termed it that we are insane. This is not mad people. Do you see? I don't know if you understand where I'm going with this.
I do.
Okay. Now, let me come to the northern, those who made those public announcements regarding IPOB, calling Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Jingoist, tribal Jingoist. That is the problem, the difference between us and them. It is about education. They are self-conscious of whom they are. That is what makes us different from them. The education they had has been there continually. They know exactly what they want. They know exactly where they are going, and they know exactly how to get it. This is what is lacking among us, the Biafrans. We have no education, collective education of what we want. We never know how to get what we want because we don't even know what we want as a collective. This is the reason whenever you hear any Western Northern group speaking, they all speak alike. It is education. That was the reason I told the last time.
Mazi, to add to what you said, I think you saw Shegumi building schools in the bush. It's a military training ground for his terrorist group that they call bandits. You know the name he called it? Ottoman Danfodio School. So these people, right from kindergarten, they educate them on their mission, on who they are, that they're supposed to be on top of
remember what I told you last time, that what you put in the brain is what they become. You look at what you just said now. They have been trained from kindergarten, so they are self-conscious, they are aware of whom they lack that. We do not know who we are. This is why everybody is so individualistic. I want to make my own money. I want to build my own house. Everything is me, I, and myself. Do you see why we are lagging behind? Because you cannot achieve anything being alone. Do you understand, Mazi Jonathan?
Of course.
This is it. So that is why this education you are giving, this is why the education Mazi, but it is so appalling what I'm seeing of recent, that most of us who have been listening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu we are just swallowing all of those foods without digesting them. It is so appalling. It is so sad that some riffraff, that some YouTubers can just take some of us so easily by deception and subterfuge. It is so sad. But you know what? This struggle is a call. It is spiritual. If you are not ordained or anointed to be in it, there is no way you will last. One thing or the other must distract you. This is why we are seeing what we are seeing today. And let me give this word back. Our behavior as black people are as a result of so many years in slavery, miseducation. That is why we are the way we are. But as long as we are now in this path we are, believe you me, in a very short time, we will take our people back and the common sense back. Mazi Jonathan, I thank you so much. Let me give other people time
to
speak.
Thank you.
Good evening.
There were. Thank you very much. We must continue. You know, I always say it. We go direct to the brain. That is the cause, the main cause of our suffering. The way we reason. As our leader said, we go there to reset. Resetting, you reset it. Reset all those things. Now, so that you start seeing things in another way around. That is why all these cow-rearers are controlling everybody boldly, because they did their work very well. You understand? They did their work. They closed the history in the Nigerian curriculum, but in their schools, in the Almajiri schools, they teach their children who they are. They have been teaching them right from Ottoman Danfodio. You understand? Have you ever had any school or any street you know him even Ekumeko? If you even name it in our land, you see some people will say, hey, he's satanic. What you hear is Wedra Road. People that love their slave masters. Wedra Road, Douglas Road, Fox Road. You don't know that these are people that killed our people, our ancestors, in their hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands. And you eulogize them. Before I chop my throat, my tongue, you praise them. You praise your killers. This way they program us. We need to reprogram ourselves, and that is what we are doing. I have to go to a caller on WhatsApp. Please hold on. I have a caller on signal that has been there. Caller on signal, welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Master Jonathan Chinedu, God bless you. My name is Kinsley calling from Morocco.
You too.
My dear brother, I thank you for your program. Okay, also I have a guest tonight. Biafra IPOB is a global phenomenon. You understand? So,
of course it is.
My dear brother, my guest is from Congo Kinshasa. You understand? Also, he can introduce himself, my dear brother. Take on.
My dear brother, you are welcome. Good evening. Okay, normally I can say bonsoir. Because I'm a francophone from Congo Democratic.
Okay.
Okay, normally I'm a French. I can say bonsoir ou bonjour. But God bless that I take in Nigeria. That's why I'm blessed for language. As English, that's what I take with me.
Very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you are blessed, brother. You are blessed.
Yeah, well, thank you.
So every time I used to follow all your program, and God has blessed me. I spent more than 25 years in Nigeria. During the time of Abacha, I was in Nigeria.
Okay.
So all the changes, all the events, everything that I was in Nigeria. And God has blessed me. I've already married to Nigeria. I have my baby Igbo girl from Imo State. So Nigeria is my country. I bless God because God has blessed me with a wonderful country in Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
What is particularly my pain? My pain I have hold more than 5 years with my Nigerian brothers who are living in Morocco here. Since more than 5 years, in the time God bless our brother Nandi, as he left England to come for Nigeria, we follow all those programs. We have been following all the movement. So the time he landed for Nigeria, they arrested him, all things about the Buhari, whatever. One thing come from my mind. I talk to Nigeria brothers because me I'm from Congo. I tell Nigeria brothers, I say, you see brother Nandi at the arrest time. Wallahi, they not going to release him now. That this thing, in fact, more than 5 years. 6 years. Why? They say no, they will kill freedom. I said no. Because the job he was doing before is not the job he take come with him for Nigeria. In England, he was the freedom fighter. As you are, I am. As you are speaking for telephone, we see who you are freedom fighter. But the time he come for Nigeria, he come as a political fighter to free Nigeria, Biafra. The statute has changed. For us, the statute has changed according to a constitution. There's no possibility unless he has to believe Nigerian journalists as a freedom fighter, to be as a political man who have to come as a Biafra to free the Biafra people as a land.
Thank you, my brother. Please, I have many other callers. I understand you very well. Merci beaucoup. What I'm telling you is, we are Biafrans. What we are doing is trying to make sure, because the way Africa is structured in general, mostly Black Africa, is not to our advantage. We are trying to, structure our own way, our natural, organic way. Because Nigeria, you see what is happening in Nigeria. Just like also as it is happening in Congo. People need to rise up in order to do the needful.
That is the thing I'm telling people.
Yes.
People have to rise up.
And that is what we are doing. That is what we are doing. That is what we are
50
doing.
years, today we get changement. That I tell them, say, it's not a decision for one person. Everybody wants to be together to fight for one objective.
That is what we are doing. Thank you, my brother. Maazi Kingsley, please. Thank you very much.
God bless you.
And you too. Thank you very much. All hail Biafra. What we are doing is to salvage the remnants of Africa by starting it from our land, the rising sun. I have a caller that has been there on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, welcome to the program. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mazi, can you hear me as well?
The whole world is hearing you, not only me. Go on, please.
Thank you very much, my big brother, Mazi Jonathan. It's your brother, Gutku, calling you from my location. Mazi, believe you me, I thank every one of you that is working assiduously to make sure that we restore Biafra and go home. And then I thank the HOD, all of you that is working. It doesn't matter the attack you people are getting. Keep doing what you are doing. You don't listen to any idiot. And we IPOB is not going to listen to any idiot that is on social media attacking you people. We are here to attack them back. That is why we are here. Mazi, we are not going to allow, and then I commit our leader into the hands of our ancestors, that we guide and protect him anywhere he is. Biafrans all over the whole world. My main purpose of calling this night is to let you people understand that we are not going to allow these Fulanis to change to change the narrative of all their evil doers against us and all the propaganda they have been dishing out. We are not going to allow them to change it. No more. The only people they are afraid of is IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If you want to see how Fulani looks like, just go anywhere Fulani is and say Nnamdi Kanu. They will run away. Not only will they run away, they will see their shit and their rubbish will be coming out from from every part of their body. Mazi, do you know that what this man is dishing out now is propaganda? The propaganda is the reason why Mazin Nnamdi Kanu came out and look at it and say, no, we have to let the whole world understand, because if these people, these Fulanis continue the way they are going, the whole world will think that we, the Easterners, the old Easterners are the ones, who they will believe that we are the problem. But the world knows the truth, but they don't want to say it. They know whatever that is happening in Nigeria now, the international community knows the truth. But we know what their problem is, and we have already told them that what we are fighting to regain our freedom and then regain the humanity that they had taken away from us. That is what we are doing. And if Mazin did not come out, believe you me, by now it will be worse. And you know why? The reason why I call this night Mazin, sometimes we need to call to refresh the memory of our people, because of all this propaganda being dished out by these Fulanis. They know what they are doing, and when they come out and lay allegation against you, if you don't counter them, believe you me, they will use it against you. Believe you me. But I thank God for Biafrans who know what they are doing, and Radio Biafra worldwide. Mazi, in 1914, we don't know Nigeria don't know us. This useless man called Frederick Lugard and his harlot for Rashon came to my ancestors' land and said, you, Nigeria. This is how Nigeria came on board in 1914. But they did not consult our fathers, our forefathers, if they are going to be member of this unit or not. Because of their own selfish interest, they join us together. And little did they join us together, these Fulani people are not even Nigerians for the first place. Fulanis are not Nigeria. These are the things we need to be telling them. That Fulani, you are not Nigeria. Let's deal with the people that they amalgamate us with, which is the Hausas, the Yorubas, and the Igbos. Now, why am I saying all these things is this. These Fulanis, the reason why they see Mazin Nnamdi Kanu as a demon is because Mazin Nnamdi Kanu have tabled everything Fulani have been doing. He has bring it to the light so that the whole world will see the atrocities of these Fulanis. Let me ask that man that is talking this thing. When you see them talking, when you see that idiot saying this thing, this idiot will never remember. These are the things that drive me mad. This idiot will never remember that they will go on their mosque on Friday. A soul preacher, one of the idiots there who married about 80 wives or 70 wives, will come in their mosque and preach against hatred against Igbos. The next thing they will shout in their mosque, Allahu Akbar. They will run out to the street and begin to kill Igbos, destroy their properties in the north, kill them. Since 1945, in fact, since Nigeria was amalgamated.
Let me ask you there. Yes, but they do all these things. But who speaks for us? Who come out like them as you see them coming out, talking boldly against the way they killed us in Castina in 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s? Which is it, which is formed by Fulani? Who have come out to address that issue? Look at the 9 world that went, is it last year, to Mwike? They are going on investigation on what happened to Igbo people in Iguacha. And then when they start shouting praises, singing, the video is there on YouTube, singing for our killer. You see that, as one of our brothers used to say, we are just like orphans. Nobody talks for us. That is why we held our leader like our life. Our life because he's the first person that have risen up to speak boldly about what we are suffering. None of them has. When they kill us in Ugwa, in Maitesina, in any so-called, because it's a monthly, if not a weekly occurrence in the north. They will come and kill us as they want, destroy our businesses, and they will bribe Ohaneze and Igbo so that they will for the unity of Nigeria, so that they will not carry the corpses, repatriate it in the east for retaliation or revenge attack, and they will keep quiet. Instead, they will go and watch them. All these groups, Igbo groups, elites, anywhere they are talking on issues concerning us, they will first of all only tanking the federal government, tanking the emir of Kano, tanking the sultan of Sokoto. He will take 3/4 of their time. That is why when like Ojo Kano said that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, we are following him insanely. He understands you cannot buy us with money, because he is the first person we have seen that has ever come out genuinely to speak what has been inside our minds, but we don't know how to express it. Mazi, go on please and round up.
Yes, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, look at everything that is happening to us since Nigeria was amalgamated, and put it to the table to Nigeria. If Nigeria knows something, they know that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is not the problem, but is the solution. If Nigeria was a country, what they would have said to themselves, this man is a solution. He's calling to the attention of Nigeria to see how we are going to make sure that all these things, atrocity against some Igbo people, stop. But they didn't. All they do is to kill them here, kill them. But let me remind these Fulani idiots, that bastard. That is why when I look at all these things that goes on in social media, it's part of what makes that Alamajiri to be saying what he's saying. Because we instead of we to be, not we know what we are doing. Is these idiots they bought in social media, give them small chingom money, they come out and begin to yap on social media. That is what gives that man the impetus to come and be saying what he said. But this idiot forgotten that what lead to this man was there. Watch our mother being raped. A young Fulani boy went into the bush, raped a woman of 60 years, killed her. They cut the boy. He said he did only one wrong. Can we do this thing in the north? The answer is
and
no.
They handed him over to police. Imagine it's an Igbo boy. They will butcher him there direct to burn him alive.
Mazi, we need to be remembering these people. Honestly. We need to be remembering that idiot to this state. A lady was butchered, cut into pieces, and thrown away her body into the farm. Who did it? Fulani. These people never come to condemn what Fulani people are doing in our land for the past how many years? Buhari came, it become worse. Then this man never see that every part of the country is crying. What brings us shouting? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have been calling these governors. Some security to safeguard our people, they refuse. What brings out ESM? ESM come out to checkmate these Fulani killers, to stop them from killing our people, to stop them from killing our people. But you see how this man is changing the narrative. They never condemn whatever Fulani have been doing. They never condemn our properties the Fulani has been burning in the north since 1945. This man, Atiku knows about it. T.Y. John Juba knows about it. Obasanjo knows about it. Every of them, Kwankwaso, Abdul Salam, name them, Yaradua, all of them, they know the way they have been killing our people. They know the way they have been treating us. In the north, they will come to their mosque, say that they are praying to their Allah, come out, Allahu Akbar. They will go and
round up, please. I have others waiting.
Destroy their properties. These people never see anything wrong about it. These Fulanis, they never see anything wrong about Igbo people that have been killing since Nigeria have been formed. They never see. It's now that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu come say, and we put a stop to this rubbish of killing Igbo people since Nigeria have been amalgamated. And now this idiot is coming to use cheap blackmail to blackmail us. That is why I'm saying to Mazi, there is a tape when Mazen Nnamdi Kanu took his time and read out the riot these people have been killing us since 1945. Please, my brother, if you can lay your hand on that tape, play it to our people. to punk. Sorry?
I said, please round up. Many people are on the line waiting. Thank you.
So we can send it to the social media to debunk this idiot that come here to see that. But all I'm asking them, I am not telling them. They know. Our people are saying let nothing happen to Mazin Nnamdi Kanu. Fulani knows very, they know who they are holding. They know they are not going to do anything stupid because we have died already. And we are going to make sure that Nigeria born. I am telling you what people where you are in Nigeria.
Thank you, Mazi. Please.
We are going to make sure that Nigeria. This one is not because I am. We will born everywhere so that the international community will come.
Thank you, Mazi. Please, if I'm telling you, thank you, let us be civilized, please. What is going on is we are in a world of exploitation. That is it. If you are weak, being weak doesn't mean physically weak, that you cannot run or fight physically. If you are weak in the brain, others subjugate you. Any type of weakness you are, others take advantage. All these things, killings have been happening unto us, but who cares? Instead of our people, our so-called elites to go and talk boldly, speak boldly about our misfortune caused by the Fulani Caliphate, they go to use it to look for position. God Almighty. Are you going to be blaming them? I mean the Fulani? They are doing what they should for their people. Why are our people not doing same? I had a caller on, my goodness me, a caller on Signal. I think he has gone. Let me pick another one. Caller on Signal, welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Today I don't know what is happening on direct line.
Hello, good evening, Mazi Jonathan Chinedum.
Yeah, well, welcome to the program. Go on.
Yes, I am calling you from my location in France here. So, Mazi, you see, Fulani people think they are a monopoly of violence. But Nda that we are the children of lion. We feed with war. Our ancestors, they war, they conquer. You see, this is in our blood. This is in our blood. You see, so I didn't call this night, to prolong matter. What I am saying is, let's show these people who we are, what is in our blood, what is in our DNA, to protect our land for upcoming generations, as our ancestors, as our fathers protect our land to bring us in existence, which we are living in today. Makana asina agbahaka chu ife anyị na-eme nwanne orugo oge eruka egosinda na nwanne ife unu na-eme na anyị kakwa unu eme Fulani. What did the Fulani know? Did Fulani know how to hold trigger? What did Fulani know? Did they know how to make 1 or 2 to become 3? What did these people know that is giving them mind? What is giving them mind?
Mazi, can you listen, please? We are not here only we are here for practicality. They know how to control you, the Fulani. You fly down to Nigeria, they halt you at the airport, and anything they want, they do. You start begging. That is what they know how to do. So, what we are doing, yes, we are heroes. Our people, we don't give up. That is what our leader Mazin Nnamdi Kanu has risen in us. Because these people, we are using our political elites to continue subdue or subjugate us, so that we forgot who we are and became like
Exactly. That is where I'm going.
So, but we need to outdo them. That is why this education here on Radio Biafra is the key. Because if you say they don't know anything how to do, how then are they controlling you? Carry euro, go now, cash. You go to, you land at the airport, they will stay there and make gain what you have labored for many years to get. There they will disarm and make gain. Immediately on your head. That is what they know how to do. They control everything. So, in order to achieve that, it needs organization. It's not only I know how to do it, physical power. No. That is what we are organizing. People don't understand. You cannot fight our enemies or this battle without organization, without discipline. You can't do it.
Exactly.
You understand?
Exactly.
That is it.
Exactly.
And I hope you are a family member. You are a family member.
Nobody, they are hearing my voice. I am hardcore.
Of course.
In Germany. I am hardcore. And I was even not here now. In Nuremberg, Germany.
Just here you can go museum. Just here you can.
So him ne kuna one ogo rugo ke go sinda hai abwere ha film khalele gota go obere abwere ha obere film khalele
I will check I now. It will come. Don't worry. There wo.
Yeah.
Remain blessed. Maazi Ejasi. There wo. I will check I now. Owuro here imecha here quick na here question no. We wear them out. We sustain the fight. I don't know. Why is this calls on direct line not hooking? Caller on, it seems the volume of calls is too much. Caller on direct line. Welcome to the program. Please, caller on WhatsApp. Hold on. Caller on direct line. Can you hear me? Caller on direct line. Can you hear me? My goodness me. No. The Zoo connection. They are calling from the Zoo, but it's not. Let me try again. No, it's gone. I'm surprised though. Caller on WhatsApp, welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? My goodness me, no. Caller on WhatsApp now. Welcome to the program. Can you hear me? Caller on WhatsApp.
Hello.
Yes, caller on WhatsApp. Mazi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
There, well, welcome to the program. Please go on.
Mazi Nathan, God bless you.
And you too.
My name is Mr. Chukwudi. I'm calling all the way from Switzerland. I'm from Oka province of Biafran land. I want to pray for our leader Mazi Nandekano. May Almighty God Chukwuka be with him.
There we
encourage him 24 hours. Never allow the DSS and the Oju Carlo and all those reference saboteurs that will stay him to discourage him or to weigh his spirit down. I also pray may Chukwuka bring him out for him to celebrate this coming Christmas with us and continue the work he called him for until he goes into the promised land. In Jesus' mighty name I pray. Amen. Mas Jonathan, I think I follow you from the beginning. This step you pray this evening, I think that man, the speaker of Northern Group, that man is insane. I know that man, I think he's insane. He is the one who came out last time and said that the house has 120 million. The Fulanis are 40 million, being 160 million, the whole north. Then that the whole south 50 million, making us 210 million. He's the one, he's the same man. And after he made this mathematics, he said that they are the one who hold the power, the vote, to do anything, to be a president at every time. And no one responds to him from southeast or south till today.
Mazi, that is what I want. Mazi, just hold on there. That is the problem. You know, when they know what that is why I say they know what they are doing. It's a ploy, it's a strategy. You know, as they come out on the open and they address the press, they lie all these lies. You know, you that think that we know everything. These people don't know anything. We only laugh about it, saying, nah, this one in our own house only. No person had us, but the whole world have had him. Many international community will take this as it is not debunked. They will take it as true. You understand? And you're in your house laughing, saying, nah, this man is insane. No, they don't know what they are saying. It's a lie. No person is hearing you. Our elites will not go out to the public, to the press, and debunk what these people are saying, because they know what they are doing. Whatever they are speaking in the open, is being heard all over the world. And individually, we'll be laughing at them inside our houses. Who is hearing us? God mercy.
So after he said all these things, no one replied him. Anessa did not reply him. Pandey did not reply him. All the Eastern leaders and the Western leaders, both you are fanning for it. No one reply him. Then that will give him the courage again to come again today and begin to speak against our leader. And he said that they are begging to release him. Who is begging? They are the one running away from their court. If they know that they are running from their court, and we are ready, at any time. If they want in their court, we are ready. They have nothing to do in their court. We win them in their court. But we are not after their court. We want our leader to be released. We are not begging them. But if they say they want to go to court because Nigeria is democracy, to prove our leader wrong, let us go to court. They are running because we will win them in their court. They run away. So the man is a foolish man, but I'm blaming our people because no one is confronting them after they lie all these things in international media. There is time this governor, former senator of Kaduna State, what is that his name? I think he's a Christian. Former leader of Kaduna State.
Is it Shehu Sani?
Shehu Sani.
It's not a Christian.
There is time he came. Okay.
Yes, but it's an awesome man. Pure house.
Yes. There is time he came out in Al Jazeera and he told the whole world that they are 75% of Nigeria. He said it in Al Jazeera that the North are 75% who they are. That is the South are 25%. He said it in Al Jazeera and nobody answered him. I begin to wonder, how can this man come out? How can only North be 75? Then the whole South is 25% and nobody answered him. Well, I think this our people that is supporting them because of the crumbs they are getting from under their mouth. And there's another thing I want to say, Master Jonathan, the people you are calling our elect and our politicians, those people, they are not our politicians and they are not our elect, because Fulani selected them and put them into their pockets. If you, Jonathan, now come out to contest an umbrella election, you will fail it. Fulani will never allow you to be there. If Nnamdi Kanu said that if he come out as a governor to contest, that even he will fail in his village. So anybody you see as a governor is a Fulani stooge. Anybody you see as a senator is a Fulani stooge. It's not by election. They will make sure that you are their slave. They will just give you that in Quran. After you swear the Quran, they will wash it and give you. You will drink before they will give you the position. If you go to Abuja, you will see all our men going up and down looking for Alaji to serve, to give them contract. Alaji is running for themselves. Alaji is telling them to go, that they have no contract for them. They are searching for Alaji to save their brothers and their sisters. Okay. But we have come to stay. We will not go. We will continue to fight. But our leaders say we will wear them out. We must find our freedom. We will fight our way out. Because if we begin to look for these people that is they impose on us after the war, we all will lose. There is something you say, this thing make me afraid. We have no place to go. Even if I want to go home now at this Christmas, then the plane drop me in Lagos. How will I go home? Will I go with a bus or with car? Or how will I go home? If I go home, where will I stay at this game that is going on? It makes me afraid. So we have no choice. The only one way we have Biafra restoration, and we will continue until we restore Biafra, no going back. This is my contribution this evening, and thank you and God bless you. Thank you.
You remain blessed too. There, well, thank you very much. We are inching closer towards the end of this program. I don't know what is happening to my direct line. Calls are coming. If I pick, we drop. It is really absurd. Is it because of the volume of calls? I don't know. Honestly, but we must continue. I have a caller that has been there on Signal. Caller on Signal, can you hear me? Welcome to the program. Caller on Signal.
I can hear you, sir.
Welcome to the program, Mazi.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Mazi Jonathan.
Yeah, well, Mazi Chijioke.
Good evening. Yes. Evening, fellow great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. May the blessings of Chukwu Kadama be with all of you, brothers and sisters. I want to thank you, Mazi Jonathan, for your program, for your topic this evening. So you stressed on the sustainability of a struggle. Is that what you treated today?
Sustaining the freedom fighting, sustaining our fight for freedom.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, I understand that that for us to achieve anything good, yes, we need sustainability. We need to be consistent. As our leader has been preaching on consistency, being resolute, being unshakable in our quest for the restoration of Biafra. So I would like to encourage our brothers and sisters who are in this struggle to continue to persevere. That our leader once tweeted that after all these sufferings and these hard times, that we will surely win if we continue. And I understand that what made IPOB what they are today is that they have been consistent since the formation of IPOB. They have been standing their ground, believing in that same thing they believed from the beginning. So I see it as consistency is one of the key. Even in consistency, we need more discipline, because if we are disciplined, we will achieve a lot. You preached being organized the other day. Talked about Fulanis are more organized than us. Do you even know that something? I get angry. From today, people started linking DOS with what Wazirike said, and I asked them, why are you not mentally tough? Our leader has been saying, can you handle? Even you have been saying, can you handle propaganda? Okay, if Nigeria government sponsors someone now and they start saying they are working with DOS to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, now you will hold on that thing and start attacking the leadership of IPOB, because an enemy said he is now supporting DOS. Why I used to ask them, why can't you reason, or why can't you be strong? Okay, because he's doing that now, you now believe that the IPOB is now working with that DOS is now working with
any person thinking in that way is either ignorant or mischievous. Do you understand?
Honestly,
do you remember? I hope we can remember one time that Wazirike was interviewed by BBC or Pidgin after the attack on Imo on Owerri prison correctional center.
Yes.
He came out and they were interviewing him. He was praising Nnamdi Kanu that even I was surprised. He said he will not tell them what they want to hear to castigate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That he is right in whatever he's doing. So all this, no matter what, the enemies will talk against you. If we are not on the right track, no person will even talk about us. Do you understand?
Yes.
But as far as we are the order of the day. IPOB is the order of the day. So people talk. I don't even consider all these things as anything, because that is the normal thing. Why are they not talking about other groups? They have Bilie movement. Why are people not even mentioning them? They have Lower Niger Company, Lower Niger Group. People are not attacking them. People are not even talking about them. All is IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's glorious because we are with the ball. Your enemy or your foes, your opposition doesn't attack you unless the ball is on your feet. Mazi, please go on and round up, please, under 1 minute. Go on.
Okay. Yes, sir. I want to say to our people that there is need for us to continue. I remember the words of our internal leader. He said that these people will now, I'm quoting him, he said that these people will now realize that there is nothing that can shake the will or crush the spirit of a determined people. I want to tell our people that as far as we have the willpower in us, that if we continue like this, no matter whatever that happens, that we must achieve this freedom in our time. So our people should keep it on. Tomorrow is a prayer, so we all should adhere to that instruction and play our own part, so that at least people will know that we mean what we are saying, that we need Biafra. So may the Lord bless you, Master Jonathan. God bless our leader. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Remain blessed too. Caller on WhatsApp, you'll be the last caller, please. You will be the last caller, please. You have 4 minutes at most. 4 minutes at most. There, well, welcome to the program. Caller on WhatsApp.
Thank you, Mazi Jonathan Chinedu. I have been called before, but network cut me off.
Yes, I saw it. Yes. Go on, please.
Thank you, man. One name.
We thank Chukwueke.
Yes. I remain Mazi Mili Malugo. I'm calling from Dubai here. I heard everything that you say in your broadcasting today. Every day by day, your broadcasting is a new. In fact, I thank Chukwuka Abiyama for making you to be the person that is piloting this Radio Biafra here.
As we are all doing all our bidding. All of us are, even including you. Yeah.
Ezoku, onye na-eme nke ọma sito ya. Ezoku sito onye na-eme nke ọma. Anyị mara ndị beto ha pụọ na gị a. Ịghọtago? Ọkasịrị ndị be anyị na-atụ inu si eto dike na nke o mere ike adịghị ime ọzọ. So without wasting my time, Mazi, we should learn how to sustain the fight of freedom. We should learn how to be consistency in everything we do in this life. You see, freedom is everything. Where you get freedom, you get everything. Without freedom, we are nothing. I hear that animal, that Fulani Janjaweed animal that is talking that our leader is fighting a tribal war. Is them Fulani Janjaweed that is fighting a tribal war, not us. Because if we come to we, Biafrans, we show that oneness of that one Nigeria. That is why we build house in every tribe in Nigeria. It's we Biafra that is showing that oneness. But they hate us to be called. Fulani Janjaweed hate us to be called. Because they are envy us, because Chukwu Kabiama really bless us. Now that is why they are demolishing all the property of our brothers and sisters in West and North. But I can blame our brothers and sisters that we leave their own land and go and invest in their enemy land because they are very stupid. They don't have sense of reasoning. So my brothers and sisters, bring your wealth down home. Just as our brother from Newi obey our internal leader, Mazi Odumegwu Ojukwu, and they invest their investment in Newi today. In village, all Africa is coming to Newi today to buy their goods. Our people, Amalom Uburoni Hegemunu, Unewe Malife. Amalom Uburoni Hegemunu Bundi, Boibani, Unewe Malife. So, we should be focused, Biafrans, in this struggle because that is where our life lies. We don't have any place to go again. Biafra is our hope. Biafra is our life. And the Biafra is our destination. We must fight this fight. We must keep fighting this fight to the end. We must keep fighting. If Fulani Janjaweed Nigeria government think that we will drop this fight, they are dreaming. They are dreaming. They are dreaming. If they have sense of reason, if Nigerians have sense of reason, they will know that Nnamdi Kanu is the light of Africa. Nnamdi Kanu came to liberate not only Biafra, but he came to liberate Africa from the slave that white man put us into. Because these white people have divided Africa as their inheritance. They have divided this Africa as their inheritance. And because of the foolish of the black people, black Africa, we are following them sheepishly. We continue to deceive you people that Nnamdi Kanu is deceiving you people, but it's a lie. Nnamdi Kanu come to liberate Africa from the bondage that white man has put us for a long time. Nnamdi Kanu stand for the good of Africa, for the good of you, Nigerians. If you know you will release Nnamdi Kanu, you will support Nnamdi Kanu so that we be liberate from the slave of the white people. But Biafra has come to stay. We will fight to the end. If you think that we drop this agitation, your people are dreaming. Mazi, thank you. Keep on the candle burning. Keep the candle burning, sir. We love you. We love all DOS. We love all of you. We love our HOD. Don't mind all these gossipers, all these useless people. They are a cook. They are nothing but fools. They know nothing. Don't listen to them. We just, you people should face on our work. Maybe when they do on our work. Maybe face all this cook that is shouting in social media. Maybe face them. Just maybe we continue doing our work. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good night, sir.
The word remain blessed. This is where I'm going to end the call. Switch off my phones, please. Do not call. It's a pity. I think only one person or none called from direct line. I don't know. It's a pity. Maybe they were filtering the calls. I don't know. But great Biafrans and lovers of freedom, we are here in a fight to win. We need to sustain this fight because our lives depend on it. I'm telling you honestly, our lives depend on it. We dare not leave this fight for the next generation. That is the thing. You see why the Fulani, why the Caliphate is in control of everything today in Nigeria, because they sustained their fight right from Ottoman Danfodio. They sustained it. They never lost focus. Today, they are building schools for them, for their terrorist headsmen, calling it Ottoman Danfodio schools. Do you know that if it is, for example, other indigenous population, the Fulani will give problem, saying that, oh, you are ethnic bigots, because they know how to openly, boldly yab people. They always pretend larger than life, but once you confront them, they diminish. All they are doing is to pretend as if they can swallow you. They can swallow everybody. In Eko, Ebube. To intimidate. And as they are doing, our so-called political elites, they continue shrinking, being afraid. That is why they are diminishing until our leader came into the scene. Do you see how they quietly poisoned my Lafayette? Do you see how he was quietly, poisoned, and his own is gone? Which person will come out from the middle bed to start talking boldly like Obadiah my Lafayette? Who? Although the death of that man, I was personally annoyed, even against him. Why did he remain in the zoo? Sometimes, you should not consider yourself. You consider the people that you are representing. Just as Mandela said, that he cannot stay foolishly to be captured and killed or thrown into the gaol like that. No, he has to make effort to hide. That is a human being. It's not bravado when to stay, let me stay. No. You use your number 6. They killed him like that with poison. That is how the caliphate works. They intimidate. They work like the KGB of the former Soviet Union. They can poison. They can use anything in order to make sure that they get you down. But once they see that you are outspoken, that you are, you are supported by the people, as we are, we IPOB, they know that we are insane in this our quest. That is why Abdulaziz Suleiman, he sued the Nigerian government to let us have referendum, because they cannot afford to stay with people so radical like this in the same one Nigeria. Otherwise, it is prolongation of problems, which is reasonable. As these people we are talking, they are talking boldly. How many of your so-called politicians used to speak boldly? Just what? Go to YouTube or Google. Go and check anywhere Ohanaeze Ndigbo have. They have called for press conference or any Igbo group or Pandevot. You see, just watch the way they speak. They first of all thanking will take better part of their statements, so that they will showcase their masters that look, we are loyal. They never speak boldly. So who are you going to blame? You see, when people come and say, no, these people don't know nothing, you see how I counter them. And they understand. It's true. Don't say that they don't know. They know what they are doing. It is our people that don't know nothing. What they know is only they build, laboriously, slavishly laboring, working hard, slavishly. How many buildings we are hewed down in Lagos? These are our people. I think in first time. As they are bringing the building down, you will see other Igbos lining up in order to, from the back, to ask whether that place they are lining up, whether it's for sale. They will quadruple the money. This is how disorganized people behave. Very primitive. Very, very primitive. Everybody is looking for what is good for himself. We are not yet developed, advanced to the extent of the Fulani. I'm telling you, until our leader came and opened our eyes. That's why when you are in this struggle genuinely, in IPOB, when you are a family member, doing the needful, contributing your quota in any way you could, consider yourself a saint. This fight is a fight to finish. It is either Biafra or Biafra. There is no other option, because we have no other place to run back to. That is the most fearful part of it. We have nowhere to run to, no place to go back to. Otherwise, some people say, okay, let's go back. No place to go back to. So it's a one-way traffic. You turn back, you die. Thank you for listening. Remember, tomorrow is our prayer day. Many things will happen. It's a divine order. If you have offer, if you are a genuine Onyakage de Ocha, come out, and all like-minded people in the community, in the open, go further, pray in our way. If you are a member of any church, religious organization, a Jewish adherent, come out, attend the nearest one you could, according to your faith. But it must be on the open. No Biafran regalia or flag is allowed. Nothing. You go and pray with one mind. It is not sit at home. No. But schools and banks should be closed in Biafra land to allow people to move freely, concentrate. We join hands together and pray in any way you believe. And after tomorrow, you see things are happening. We thank each and every one of you for listening. Biafra is our ideology. Biafra is our identity, and nothing more. Before, we were not having no ideology. We were thinking that Nigeria, we swallowed Nigeria hook, line and sinker, but now we are seeing the reality. Therefore, make no mistake about it, we are going home to our natural organic land of Biafra. Stop listening to gossip. Gossip doesn't pay. It makes you, it confuses you more and more. Without organization, you cannot achieve nothing. You've had it. Without being organized, you can't do nothing. You can achieve nothing. That is why we must be under one family. Without a structure, there will be no rules guiding it. A structure, just like maybe 2 plots of land, for example. One plot is being built. Let me just an example. A plot of the land is being built. A structure is raised on that land. 1-story building, rounded up. Now the other plot is open. You see, that place with a structure will have rules and regulations, because it is now somebody's own thing. There is a door for people to enter. People should not jump the wall. You become a thief because he has a structure. But in an open space without structure, open bush, mad person can go there and defecate. You can just go inside and peace. No rules, because it has no structure. But once there is a structure, now you see automatically it has rules. If you are unauthorized, try to enter, the guard will ask you, what are you doing? Where are you going? If you don't identify yourself well, you will call the police. That's because you are entering into a structure. There are rules and regulations of entering into a structure. You must enter through the door, not through the window. But in an open space without structure, a structureless space, there is no guideline. You go there, sit down, do as you want, enter from east, west, north, south. No person harasses you because it has no structure. It's just an empty space. People don't understand what it means to fight our enemies. We must be disciplined under a structure. You cannot do anything you want, otherwise it becomes anarchy. Oh, I'm a Biafran. Can you deprive me of a Biafran? No, we cannot deprive you of being Biafran because it's natural. But there are people, there is a structure that is championing the movement. That is why you can now proudly call yourself a Biafran. IPOB is championing it, whether you like it or not. Now, do you understand? It's just like when you are a fan of what do you call Chelsea or any European Premier League, but you're in the zoo. You admire, you are supporting, you are watching on television, shouting, obscenities if any ball is missed. You are clapping but your support, you are shouting in Nigeria on the television. It doesn't have any effect, direct effect on the players. The real fans are in there, registered. They can raise their voice if things are going wrong for the coach to be changed. But you, an ordinary supporter, because tomorrow you can say, no, I'm no more supporting Chelsea. You switch to Liverpool or you switch to Barcelona. But it's not like that to real registered supporters. They have the voice more than you. No matter you are in your room championing, clapping and shouting whenever they are playing. Yes, you're a supporter. You wear their jersey. You buy their jersey and wear. But it doesn't influence anything on them. Do you see the difference? Being a family member and being a Biafran. I'm a Biafran. Yes, you're a Biafran. No person can deprive you of or stop you from doing or talking anything about talking about Biafra. But you need to belong to the structure so that to contribute in your own way for the success of our cause. That is sometimes one thing some of our people don't understand. Therefore, as I said before, Biafra is our religion. We have no other thing than Biafra. Our leader must be released. Though not fall for the propaganda of some of our some of the paid agents or mischief makers in the social media. There is nothing happening. Who tell you that? Because they are mad. Do you understand? They are mad because they are no more hearing what the leadership wants to do, what IPOB plans to do. No. We keep them in the dark. That's why they are mad. They want to push so that we tell them anything, what we want to do. It's impossible. As I said, freedom fighting is not one-way traffic. Sometimes you change the step of your music. If the music changes, the dancer changes the step. Thank you very much, each and every one of you, for listening. And from me, Mazi Jonathan, from here, it is simply good evening.
The more we fight together, the more we fight together, and stronger we shall be. Rising sun.
comes the time. The whole wide world will welcome the rising sun. Here comes the time for everyone to see that what will be, will be. This is the time for you and I to stand together as one. Yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are, because the sun is rising. We're shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. We spent our lives in pain and misery, never gonna trade our freedom with any mystery. It's affecting our soul and it's killing us slow. With what we've been through, we are far from being good, but we are blessed by Chukwuka Biama. So we're never gonna give up. We're never gonna give up. There will be light in the wind of a tunnel. It will shine so bright all time. The whole wide world will embrace us. Nobody can stop us, nobody can cage us, nobody can stand us, yeah. They will know, they will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? Oh, you wave your flag and be proud of who you are, because the sun is rising. We're shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. The windows and curtains, green lights be revealing. When I think about how blessed we are, goosebumps all over my body. Sunrise to the clock strike, black strength crossing grey strides. Clashes upon clashes, many lives come to ashes. When I ponder and reminisce, the actions I see malice. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag all around the world. Blood on the ground, this is how we fly. Our beautiful flag all around the world. We go carry the cross together. We walk through to Zion. We stumble, we rise. How the victory will start. They will know. They will know. The sun is rising from east to west, from north to south. Can't you see the sun is rising? I still wave your flag all over the world, because the sun is rising. I still be shining so bright all over the world. We are the sun, we are rising. They will know, they will know, they will know. Keep our light shine, the sun is rising. Wave your flag anywhere you are. Keep our light shine, the sun is rising.